Hi guys, how are you doing today? Last week I talked a little bit about friendships and losing friends and wondering if that is a normal part of growing up or becoming an adult. If people have noticed that that's happening in their life as adults a lot. Um, there's a lot of changes that we definitely go through as adults, but it's a lot of it is difficult for us to take hold of and to work through. And although you're adults and you try to help the younger generation, and your goal is to impart wisdom, right? And to help the younger generation learn and grow and maybe not as make as many mistakes as you did as an adult. um, it's still a challenge, right? It's still a challenge for us too. And because you've gotten older, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that does not mean that you're not growing. And for you to grow, there are going to be challenges that happen that that help you do just that. So if you are like moving along, right, and you you don't feel that your life is changing, or you don't feel like you're learning anything, and you don't feel like you are where you want to be in life, um, it's probably because you're not taking as many risks. So, what's growth to you? You know, so our discussion today on our break um, is growth. What is growth? To me, growth is a challenge. Growth is learning. Growth is taking risks. Um, Growth is manipulation of what you already have, not in a negative way that people look at the word manipulation, but manipulation of what you already have. You're going to use the tools that you have already um, in your growth journey, right? Um, so that's what growth is to me. Growth is not staying still. Growth is not being comfortable. Growth is not, you know, being the same. There's nothing same about growth. It's all different. So if you're not comfortable with where you are, or if you are, you may be subconsciously comfortable. You don't realize that you are not moving or growing because of that comfort. You probably don't realize it. And that is possible. Um, and you're comfortable and you stay in comfort because you don't like that uneasy feeling that you're going to get. When you're growing, it's uneasy. It is definitely uneasy. It is definitely uncomfortable. And you have to realize that growth is uneasy, growth is uncomfortable, um, and that it's risky, right? And I'm not just talking to you guys, I'm kind of talking to myself too. In all aspects of your life, growth is easy. Look at what we were talking about last week about friendship. Um, some friends are uncomfortable with your growth. Let me repeat that. Some friends are uncomfortable, uncomfortable with your growth. So they sabotage you. They make you feel as if you're changing and things aren't the same and this is a bad thing. when in fact it's a good thing. And they should be supporting you. They should, maybe learn some tips on how to take risk from you. They should be celebrating the changes you're making in your life, especially obviously when they're good and for the good. They may not be good right away, but they are for the good, for good intention. They should be celebrating you. And if these friends are complaining, oh, you don't have enough time for me, because you're doing this new journey, and they using what you're working on as um, a negative thing to throw it in your face. I mean, you really need to look at that friendship. That friendship is now evolving into something where it may not be serving you, right? And then you look at yourself and you say, well, am I really being a bad friend, right? Is this something that I need to work on? How I'm treating my friendships, how I'm treating others. But no, you're working on growth. You're working on being the person you want to be and you're called to be, right? You're working on formulating what you need to do for yourself, right? And for those that you care about. Um, so growth is going to come with a lot of challenges. It could be a significant other that is just uncomfortable with your growth. You're uncomfortable, but at least you're doing it for you. But a significant other is probably going to be uncomfortable because they don't understand it. Family members may be uncomfortable because they don't get it. So, you know, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you have to look at, it's very windy today, which is not bad, but it's blowing my hair all over the place. But, it's going to be a challenge. It's a challenge for you. Um, it's uncomfortable, but in the long run, you will attain what it is that you want to attain, right? And let's be real, what you think you're heading for may not be what you get in the result, but it is what you need, right? So you may go um, expecting one thing and don't get it, but get something else. This is not what I wanted. This is not the growth I wanted, but it's what you get. And guess what? It's what you needed. It is what you needed at that time. You have to believe that's what you needed. It's very difficult to, but you have to believe that's what you needed to learn, so that, you know, you can continue to grow. Growth does not stop because you're 60 years old, right? It's a continuous process. And, people get comfortable. I know I've gotten comfortable in many aspects or many phases of my life. I've gotten comfortable, and it is just difficult to get out of comfortability. This word is so hard. It's very difficult to get out of being comfortable. But like I said, in order to grow, in order to get better, you have to get out of being uncomfortable. So you guys, tell me if you agree, tell me if you disagree, and tell me if this is something that we need to further discuss, because I know a lot of people are not going to see it my way, and that's okay. It's part of learning. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.